Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? You have to tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan
Hello.
and Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right, sticking with the animated theme that we've been going with lately, the film is called The OceanMaker, with OceanMaker being sponged together into one word. It was made in 2014 by a guy named Lucas Martell. And as mentioned, it's animated and it involves a pilot. Well, it actually takes place a bit in the future. I should add this in kind of like an alternate future kind of thing where all the water has dried up on the planet. And you've got these pilots that will look for small cloud formings and then they drag around this thing that kind of reminds you of those when, like you see the planes that pull water out of the fight forest fires, kind of like one of those big cone things. So they fly around with that, and they kind of take the water from the clouds. And this girl, she has a thing called a rainmaker that she's attached to her plane, and so she goes to fly into a cloud and add the rainmaker to it, which then expands and creates rain. But of course, she has to deal with pirates coming and attacking her plane. So you've got this little shootout. So it's kind of a fun little shootout bit. The planes are actually all based on real planes, like the P-47 was quite recognizable. I don't remember, I don't know what her plane is based on. It's kind of a couple different mixes. The jet, I think, is an Airbus or something like that. But they've been modified, of course, for this world. And so basically she has to fight. And it's kind of weird because like you're kind of, so I'm guessing she came up with a method to expand clouds. So she's trying to do that to save the planet, but then you have all these pirates shooting at her. So she can't really do that. And so it's kind of an odd dynamic. It's very kind of Mad Max of the skies, I guess, in animated form. It is kind of fun to watch the animation. And I like planes and plane type stuff. So as a boy, I kind of liked the plane fighting bits. As a film, there's not a whole lot to it, but it's an animated short, so of course there's not going to be. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You know what? It reminds me of like the start of a computer game. Do you know the way you see a computer game and then it gets into the game?
Oh yeah,
So
it's like
you
the
know that kind of
cutscene from
way.
from a video game.
Yeah, but it's definitely like Mad Max the skies. It's a very good description. I think this actually really happened recently in Dubai. Do you see that? There was some
Oh
sort of
yeah,
thing.
because they were seeding the
Hmm.
clouds and it
Right. They
caused
were doing
floods.
something, and then the floods apparently. So maybe this exact thing happened, but
Mhm.
they actually had a plane with they were doing something in the air, and then yeah, the flash floods. And it actually is it's very interesting because it's like that's the ocean. I didn't actually get that at the very start. I watched it twice, but yeah, obviously that's a lighthouse behind me, and then there's the shipwrecks and everything. Yeah, it was more like watching computer game. I think with the animation, the type of animation it is, it was because it's so computer generated, and so I wonder, are the pirates like, are they protecting the skies? Like maybe they want it would be a good thing for everyone that there's water. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, I think maybe they didn't know what she was doing. I
Okay.
get the vibe maybe they thought that she was also trying to take cloud water, although she wasn't dragging one of the things behind her. But yeah, I had the same problem. I'm like, why are they shooting at her? She's like making
Yeah.
it better for everybody. But
Yeah, because
whatever.
they should be happy. Like,
Mhm,
but as you said, maybe they just thought she was going to steal some water, but then
mhm.
she's nothing attached to her to get the water. So it's a bit weird. That kind of threw me off a little bit. But I did enjoy it, but I didn't connect with it as much as I wanted to because I felt like I was watching a prequel to a computer game. But I did appreciate the technicalities of it and the skill of creating this animation. But just I didn't connect to it as much as I wanted to.
You just ruined my big point. Like,
Uh-huh.
which was, yeah, why are they trying to stop her? Like, she's going to create war for everybody, so everybody's happy. Um. Anyway, like, this is how many animations have we had? I know we did one last week, but did we do one before that? I can't remember.
I think we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate actually that this animation appeared, or we're reviewing after the one we did last time, because it doesn't really compare well. And one thing that I felt was we didn't really identify much with this character. I know, okay, it's an animation and so on, but like in the film we reviewed last week, the Ice Merchants, that the kind of the characters were established earlier on. You had a little backstory and you cared for them a bit. So I didn't care at all for what happened to this woman in this band. I didn't care if she got shut down. I didn't care if she completed her mission. Anything like that. So even though it was done reasonably well, the fighting, the action scenes, and so on, I was a bit disengaged. It wasn't too bad, it wasn't boring or anything like that. But there was, as you say, there was a lot of inconsistencies with the story. Like, why are they trying to stop her? And how could you have this, like, a magic seed that can turn this pissy little cloud into a deluge of water to flood the whole planet?
If she had a collection thing, like one of those collecting water things in the back of her plane, maybe that would make more sense because they would think, oh, she's stealing it, but she didn't.
No,
So
that's the thing. So they're just shooting at her for kind of no reason.
yeah.
Especially once she seeded the cloud and it started to get bigger and stuff, and they were still shooting at her. Like when that last plane showed up too, and it's like, why is this plane shooting at her? Yeah. And she
Yeah.
could have escaped, and then she goes and attacks the bigger plane. And it's like, why? You've already proven that this works. Go home and, find another cloud to seed or something like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why isn't there two of them? Like, I mean, if they have this amazing technology, why is she on this, crappy sort of modified plane
Yeah.
up against like an army of other ones? I suppose it is a sort of a trope of these type of films where the heroes, the underdogs, have the lesser equipment.
Mhm.
And
It's a very, very, well, I know you're American, but it's a very American style. If you know what I mean. It's like we're the good guys and you're the bad guys. Really extreme.
I
And
wonder.
like she yells at one stage, like she goes, ah, like that's a very, those very cheesy movies you see.
Mhm.
It's a little bit, I was like, oh,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking here to see if the filmmaker, if there's any information on him, I mean, I'm guessing it's he because Lucas, where he's from. Yeah, I can't find anything. It doesn't say to see if he's actually American or not. But you're probably right. It is because, American boys like our planes and plane battles in the sky and stuff like that. It makes me think, there's a 3D animation software that a lot of people are using nowadays. I want to say Maya, but I think it's actually called 3D something or other. I was kind of looking when you guys were Blender, maybe.
Oh yes, Splender's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, and
this was made in 2014 now, so
yeah, so this one certainly wouldn't have been used making that, but I've been seeing a lot of animated films with people using that product to make, especially a lot of, like, for some reason, Star Wars fan films. A friend actually you guys probably know, but made a 3D, made a Star Wars fan film using it. And that's what this kind of reminds me of, is if somebody was using Blender and kind of made a film using it. This is kind of basically what that reminds me of, because we don't really see any mouth movement and stuff, which helps for animation, but we get these kind of cool 3D effects and music and stuff. So,
well, also you have the specter of AI looming. So, you wonder, are people going to be toiling over animated software in the future, and as hey, get an AI to do it.
The way, like, we've seen a lot of very good animations recently, and sometimes they break your heart, like you're just so attached to the characters. But this kind of animation, you just feel it's a little bit detached or something, or very artificial. I don't know, there's something, as you said, maybe they don't move their mouths that much. I don't know, there's something you can't really connect with it, even for an animation.
Yeah, well, because we only really see the one character in the plane, so it's really just them fighting in the sky. So it's just kind of look what I can do with animation and make a, sky airplane fight sequence. Cool.
Mm. Yeah, I don't. There's not a huge amount really to say about this. um, Well, fair dues to her anyway. She sacrificed herself to save
Yeah,
the planet, save the
yeah.
world,
Didn't
But
have to
save.
did
though.
she like, is this one cloud going to grow massive and circular the planet? And like, and it's still not really explaining where the water, like, because you still have to get the kind of, like condensation to build up into the clouds. Like, where'd all the water go? Like in this
And
particular,
where did it come from in the first place? Because
yeah,
the cloud has to come from water to begin with. So
exactly. Yeah, it's
maybe there was water just
condensing
over
into a
there.
cloud.
Like yeah,
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 yeah, doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
All right.
So in a nitpicking, rip the shreds, rip the plot to shreds. I think this falls down a bit.
Mm. All
Mm.
right. Well, I guess that's means let's rate it. So since I picked it, one of you guys gets to go first.
Oh, you can go.
All right, I'll go. I love this film. Uh, yeah, like it wasn't atrocious, but there was something kind of bland about it and unfulfilling, and there was question marks over the whole point of it and what was the story. I think they wanted to do a certain type of film, a bit of action, a bit of jeopardy, a bit of bit of drama, but I don't think it really worked. But I'll give it 3 stars.
Yeah, for me, it was a bit artificial looking, and I couldn't connect with it compared to other animations we've seen. And I just thought it lacked a bit of story and was a little bit confusing. So I'm giving it 2 stars.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of story here, and I think that's probably what this particular short loses because we don't care. There's no stakes for the characters for us. Um, but I thought the animation was pretty fun to watch, especially it was done in 2014, so, you know, 10 years ago, which, they didn't have all the fancy software we have now and stuff like that, which is kind of impressive for 3D. And it's a good sample of like, hey, look what I can do as a filmmaker. And it involves planes fighting each other in the sky, which is cool. But I definitely didn't love it. So I'm going to go 3 stars. There you have it, Filmcast audience. It is called The OceanMaker, which, by the way, in the plane, the thing's called the Cloudmaker or the Rainmaker or something like that. That would have been a
Yeah.
more appropriate name for the film instead of The
The
OceanMaker.
Rainmaker. Isn't Rainmaker a
Rainmaker.
famous film? Oh,
I,
sorry,
I
it's
think
Rain
there is a
Man.
Rainmaker film, or there's a play, I
Or
think,
maybe
called The
that was
Rainmaker.
it.
There's a play, well, maybe The Cloudmaker. I don't know. Either way, it's called The Ocean Maker. You can check it out. You can let us know what you think of this film. Leave us a comment in the show notes, or you can reach out to us on social media at No Budget Show. And with that, we will say see you next time, and goodbye.
Bye.
But